So in this session, what we are going to do now is to just go through certain topics that we need to learn in advanced JavaScript. And those topics include things like higher order component, and you have something known as render props. And after that, we'll also look into context API. So these are the three things that you will be learning in advanced React, because these are the few things that will enhance some of the problems that you're facing right now when you're learning about React. Okay. So what I'll do here is like, I'll start with the first two topic, that is higher order component and render props. And to start with, like, I'll just talk about why do we need it. And to understand why do we need it, I'm just going to create a small app. Okay. So I have a basic app setup done here. If you look at it, it just create React app boilerplate. It's just that I've deleted everything from SRC and created two files. One of the file is index.js and another one is app.js. Index.js has just React DOM. Using React DOM.render, we are rendering the component into the root element. Okay. And we have an app component that is not doing anything. So here, what my idea is to just create a very simple application fetching data from GitHub API to display two things. So we need to like fetch data from GitHub API and fetch two different information. So for example, if you go on to api/github.com/user, any username and /followers, it gives you a list of all the followers that you have, right? That is what it gives you. Similarly, what if you go to the next tab, you just say following, you have other information or other people here. Okay. So like what my simple, like the app is going to be very simple. We are going to have two components. One component is going to fetch data of the followers and another component is going to fetch data of the all the following people and just display the information. That's all. Very simple. You must have done it. And that's all I'm going to do now. And wherever you like want to comment or say something, please go ahead. I don't have any issue. So first thing I'm going to do is to create two component, followers.js and following.js. And in followers, let's just create the first one. So I'm just going to create a class component. Why? Because we need state, obviously. So we'll say class followers react.component. We have a render method and we're just going to return the basic stuff here. But before that, I'll import React from React. Okay. So now like we have like here, like we are just going to have the basic render method, whatever we need. So right now, just we are just going to display hello. So just have h2 and we'll say hello. And here I'll just export this component. Similarly, I'll have the same thing for following. It's just that the name of the component will be different. And now we have both the component. I'm just going to import it here and just display it right here. Now, if you just look at your UI, you will see that we have two components being displayed here. That is hello followers and hello following. And like now we will make it dynamic. Okay. So if you look at the API, we have these two APIs. So I'll start with followers. So I'm just going to create the first one and I'll try to create it in a better way, like having a loading spinner and everything. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm just already going to have a spinner.js. And for spinner, I generally use this one, 30 seconds of code. They have animation. So this is the spinner that I'll use, and let's just create a component. If you want to have a CSS, I can just have a CSS like spinner dot module dot CSS. Now, if you want to look at this component and just display it here.
Ankit,
Let's see. Yeah.
what is the use of that spinner.module.css?
It is just a CSS file that I'm just importing it in Spinner. The reason I've named it module.css is because this CSS is only responsible for this single module. That's the only reason.
Okay, so if we name it something else and then we import it, then also it
It
will
will
work.
work also, but like it just like a thing that people use in React. Like whenever otherwise it feels like you can just have a CSS file, and that's totally fine, not a problem. Like here, I can just have a new folder, style, and inside that I can have a loader.css, loader.css, no problem with this. But generally, like when you have your CSS and that is only responsible for one module, you should name it like CSS. So in that way, what happens is loader gets to know that I don't have to include this CSS anywhere else. So think about it like this. Say, for example, this spinner doesn't need to be included in app or following or followers. It just need to be included in spinner.js. That's all, nothing else. So generally what happens is like when you do something like when you just put it like this, it will be included in all throughout the app. Understand the difference?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So rather than importing it here, I can just import it here also, no problem. But just that, like I can just be like, it is called loader.css. And I'll have to get it by going outside and style. So you can do it like this. The difference between them is like this one is go outside style loader.cs. Okay, import outside is not allowed. Let's move it in. So do it like this. Yeah, so now we have a spinner and things are okay. Okay, so we have all the things, most of the things that we need. We don't need spinner here, so I'm just going to delete it. Now let's start working on our followers. So here the first thing we know is we need to fetch data from this URL, right? Like that is the URL that we need to fetch data from. So I'll go ahead and start fetching data. And for that, obviously you need state. And so for that, I'm just going to define state, and state is going to have information like followers. So followers in the start is going to be null. Okay, and then like we are going to have component did mount one as soon as this function is get run, I'm just going to fetch this URL. And then I'm just going to be like dot then get response dot JSON. We just say dot then will get access to followers. So here we'll get it something like this. It will be an array of objects. So perfect. So here again, we just need to be like this dot set state. And we just need to update followers. Okay, so perfect. Like in this way, it will be able to work. Now what we need to do is we have to take care of some of the stuff. The first stuff is, what if follower is null right now? Do you need to display this? No, that's where we're just going to, inside render, we are not directly going to return it like this. We're just going to put a condition. We'll say if this dot state dot followers If it is not there, or means it is a falsy value, then you just need to return what? That return loader component, right? So whenever it is null, I just need to return loader component. Otherwise, you just need to return this, like whatever you need to return. So right now I'm just returning h2 this thing. So if you just go on to this thing in the starting, you see for a fraction of second, it is just showing the other part, like that is null, because in the starting it is null, and then it is displaying the content here. So this is the first thing. Like now what we need to do is use this followers from here. So we can just be like, let followers is coming from this dot state, because we're using it multiple times, though we don't have to like always say this dot followers. So here followers will be an array of information. So here I'll get access to follower, and for each follower I'm just going to return what? So I'm just going to return a li element. So let's just return it here. So first thing, it should be having a ul element, and then we should be having this. So let's have ul. Inside this, we are going to write JavaScript, and we will return li. Inside li, what do you want to display information of? So let us display the basic information like the avatar. Okay, so let's do that. So inside that, I'm just going to have an image, and image will be something like follow.avatar URL, and the alt tag is going to be follower.name. I think let's put it this way. Then we also can have width of, I don't know, maybe like make it 75. Let's see. So we have it here, right? Like say, if you refresh it, there is a loading indicator for a fraction of second, but then we have this element. All good. And just because it is like this, let's just add a style here right away. I'll say display flex. So now we have it, like at the same time, we'll say list style is going to be none. And similarly, like image, I'm just going to add another style. And we'll say border radius would be equal to 50%. Perfect. Okay. And if you want to like make it even look better, we'll say what it is called wrap. Flex wrap should be wrap. Perfect. All good. And on the top, if you want to make it even look better, you can just wrap it into a fragment. And here you can just have a h3, h4 element, h3 element saying list of followers. Perfect. All good. So this is how we generally do some stuff. So here what we are doing is like we are fetching the data, and based on that, we are doing all of it. So now like we have to do the same stuff for following, right? We have to do exactly same stuff for the following. Then what we can do is we can just copy and paste it here. The only changes that we have to make is the name of the component following. Along with that, we also need to change the URL that is following. That's all. Like this should be following. If you want to be more specific, you can change your state. So I'll just change this state to following. And now if you go onto your app, you'll see this. Understood? Any problem here that you are having problem? Anything here that you don't understand? All good? Yeah, somebody was saying something. Yeah, go ahead.
Ankit, can we not like in the same state, we can bring both follower and following?
We can, why not? Like we can, but the thing is like this is a component that is responsible for following. So we are putting the following here. One thing that we can actually do is put the state here in app component and pass those two things to follower and following. Means we can do that, not a problem.
Okay.
But obviously we'll have to define state on the top. It's better to just stay the state is a state belongs to the same component, because this information about the following, do you need it anywhere else? That's the thing you need to ask yourself. Do I need this state anywhere else? Why will I put it into app if nobody else needs it? Right? Like
Right.
your state should be as close as possible. That's the point. So state here is as close as possible. I know we are repeating ourselves. We'll talk about it again. Okay. But
Okay.
let's see. Okay. So like here, this is the best way to do it. But how many of you see any problem here? Do you see any problem here?
Code duplication.
Yeah, it's like duplication is a huge problem, right? So we were working on two components. One of the component is this and another component is this. The first one is follower component, another is following. So now if you just take a look at it, the follower component has two important parts. What are those two important things? So every component generally, when you create a class component, it has two things into it. That is how it works generally. Like you don't even have to think, this is what it is. So here, one of the component, let me just change the color. So the follower component includes two things. What is that? One is state and the other thing is UI. Okay, so this is what a class component does consists of, right? Like, so here we can just say state. So every component consists of two things, a state and UI. Or you can also talk about some extra logic like having component did mount. So component did mount is extra logic to the component. Similarly, you can have component did update or any other life cycle method. So when you have any life cycle method or you have state, all you have is logic. So this is what logic means. This is what logic is, right? So this is what logic is. Either you have state because that value is changing on certain information like component did mount or any other life cycle method. When you interact with the UI, you change the state. So this is what the logic is. This is what the UI is. If you try to take a look at your component, you will see both these two things are coupled. Coupled means they are together. You cannot take one or the second. Okay, that is what you need to do. Similarly, like here for the other component, it's the same story. Nothing changed here. So it has some kind of state. It has some kind of UI. Now, if you just try to talk about only follower component, then you will get to understand, okay, you have state, you have component did mount where you are fetching the data. As soon as your data is fetched, you're updating the state is updating, your UI is being re-rendered. It means this is your logic. If you look at the logic here in this component for the following, you will see the logic is exactly the same. You have component did mount. So state, you define something, you go inside component did mount, it will fetch data, it will update the state. Because state is updated, it will re-render the UI. Okay. What is the common thing between them? Do you think there is anything common? Like, do you think the logic between them is common or not? It is common. All the logic that we have written, right? Like logic, like having a if condition here, having something like this here, having something else here. You are having all those things, right? That's something that is there. But the thing is, like, can you separate them? The point I am trying to make here is your state or the logic and the UI, they are coupled. Coupled means they're coupled inside a component. Even here, they're coupled, the logic and the UI. The only way I can fix this problem of duplication, if I just put it somewhere like this and just remove this whole thing, right? Don't you think this can work? But is it possible? That's what I'm trying to look at. Can I remove the logic from this component to something else? And later on, I can just import it in some way or form. I can import this in some way or form. Can I do that? That is what I needed to understand here. Only in this way, you will be able to delete the problem or maybe fix the problem that you guys were talking about, that is duplication, right? Is there any other way? Yes or no?
You can use function which will accept some parameters and change URL or something.
Okay, so if you use a function, so obviously what you're saying that you can use a function, but can you replicate component did mount? Your function will not have component did mount, right? This is the logic that is only comes to a class component. That is what I'm talking about. You can create a function for this part, but can you create a function or logic for this part? Okay, so you start with a null data. As soon as component is mounted, you fetch the data. And after fetching data, you update the state and the state will re-render the UI. I'm talking about that logic. Can you replicate that with function?
No.
No, that's the point. You cannot replicate the logic that is here. You can just replicate the function, this part. I'm not interested into that. Right now, it's very simple. You just have one state, you have only one logic. What if you're trying to make a tooltip? When you hover over something, it displays that. You will have to take care of so many state life cycle, like component did mount, component did update, component will unmount. So then it will become a huge problem. But right now, I'm just trying to keep it very simple. So that is what is, this is what is known as composition. Composition means like I just have defined a behavior. That behavior is define a state of null. After defining the state of null, you have to, as soon as component is mounted, go ahead, fetch data. After fetching data, update the state is updated, UI will update. So that is what actually I want. That is what I want. Okay. Now, the point is, it is not possible right now with this whole story. So let's see is what we can do now. Okay, so I'm just going to have a new component just for the test, and I'll call it test component. And this test component is also going to be very similar to anything like any normal components. Here, the only thing is like in component did mount, I'm just going to have console.log hey component. So, hey component, you're mounted. That's all I need to say. Similarly, I can just have a state of count and the value is going to be 0. In render, I don't have to do any of this complicated stuff. I'm just going to return what? So let's just say return h1 hello, and I'm just going to have this dot state dot count. Now I want to render this component just below these things. So let's call it test component, name it differently. It's going to be test, import it. Now, if you go onto your app, you will see the hello 0 is coming. So even this component has something. This component has a logic that is a state, and it has component did mount that gets mounted as soon as you do this. This component is mounted. Now, what I want to do is to separate the logic and the UI. You will have to see, can you just create a class component with logic? We will have to see that, right? Like, can I just create the UI? So here, to do that, we will have to remove the render method, because render is where the UI is. Everything else is what? The logic. inside a class component, what is logic and what is UI? Like which function represents UI and which function represents logic?
Render represent UI.
And everything else
other
represent?
logic.
Logic, perfect. So like, I know we talked about it, like, so only way we can fix this problem is to just separate them. So let's just try separating them. So this is my logic. I'm just taking it out. Now I'm just going to refresh this page. Something is wrong here. It is saying that instance.render is not a function, means like every component that you create, something like text, sorry, I've created a text component here. It should be test. So test in the app, yeah, test, perfect. So it is throwing the same error, the error that says that your component doesn't have a render method. What does it mean? Anybody who can tell me, like we are trying to separate the logic and the UI, but React is throwing errors saying you cannot do that. It's not possible. You cannot remove render from a component. So what we understand from here is like, what if I just be like, okay, just have a render function and return null from here. Can I do this? Yeah, you can do that. So you're not returning anything. So that is again, like say, what else can I return? Can I return 21 from here? Let's see. So you see the 21 value. So everything you return from render is coming to the UI. But what do I want? I want the logic, right? I don't want the UI. I want the logic. That's the point. Understood the problem here or not?
Yes.
You understood the problem? The problem of like a class component contains two things, a logic and UI. But a class component, you cannot share or separate the logic and UI. Because you cannot separate the logic and UI, then can you fix this problem then? Tell me. If you cannot separate them, can you fix them? Everybody understood the problem statement, yes or no? Please go ahead.
Yes.
Solution I will
Yes.
give you, but just have you understood the problem statement properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the point is you cannot separate logic and UI. But obviously there are some ways that you can do that, right? Like, so somebody came up with a very, means, I don't know, you can call it like a hacky, or you can call it like a very clever idea of doing that. Okay, so I don't know whose name was it. It was something. I think it was Sebastian or somebody. Yeah, it was Sebastian. Like he was working with React team at that point of time. And this is when he came up with this idea, the idea of enhanced component. And what he was saying, let's just try to understand what he's doing. So here you have a class component, and that component is my component, and render this based on whatever you have data, then wait for it, otherwise display the data. What he was saying is, what if, like, say you have a component like this that has logic to it. What it means is you have state where data is null, and as soon as component is mounted, you make the data to be hello. But what you do here is, like, this is your component. So you can take a look at it. You have a function. So you like start from the here. So you have variable called enhance that accepts one parameter, that is component, and returns what? It returns a class component from here. What it accepts? It accepts any random component from here. And later on, what it does is, whatever logic you have, it is just passing inside that component. Now, whenever you want to use it, just enhance it, just like call it like enhance and just use it like this. This was the logic, and this was the start of something known as higher order component. So higher order component is very similar to higher order function. A higher order function accepts a function as a reference or a parameter. Here, a higher order component accepts a component as a parameter, and that is what is happening. you're not able to understand this one, let's just go a bit more into our example and try to understand this. So say I'm just going to create another component here and I'm going to call it test2.js. And this is the component where I need to use the information coming from here. These two things, I need to use it. These two logic, I want to use it in test2. So here, I'm just going to have a component called function test2. Why I'm making a function component is because the logic, I want to get it from here. I don't want to make my own logic. If I have to make my own logic, what is the point of separation or just reusing the same thing, right? So I'm just going to say return. And here I'm just going to be like return a paragraph and hello test2. And we'll export it from here. So we'll say export default test2. So now if you go into your UI here, app, you have test, I will need the next component that is test2, and I'll just import it here. Now see what it is going to do. The test component does two things. It has a state called count, then it has something known as component did mount logic that is going to log a message saying, hey, count component, you're mounted. Test2, I need the same thing here. It means that I need this log to happen 2 times. I need it to also have count at 0. Now, if you just go ahead, refresh it, you have 21, that is obviously of no need. But here you can see, hey, component is only coming 1 time. I want to use it inside test2. Okay, all good? Okay, so let's just go ahead and try making this a component that can be used multiple times. Okay, so how I'm going to do that is this. So everybody understood what is a higher order component? A higher order component is a function that accepts a component as a parameter. So I'm going to make a, I don't know, make a function. I'm going to call it with console, or with log, I'm going to call it. Why with log is because this component is going to always come with log. And here I'm just going to accept a component. So I'm just going to call it comp. And what I'm going to return from here is a class component like this. So from this function, I'm going to return a class component. And here I'm getting access to this component. Rather than returning 21, I'm just going to say comp. Because this is a component, I can just like do it like this. And because this is a component, the name of component always starts with what? Uppercase or lowercase?
Upper.
Right? So like, what should I call it? Just call it comp. All good? Now, see, this function is accepting a component. It is returning a class component, but that whatever it is returning, can it also send this information from here? Can I just send count is equal to this dot state dot count? Can I send that or not? Right? All good? No problem. This is what I need to do. So here I have this thing here. So in test, I need to use it. In test2, I need to use it. So how I'm going to do it? So let's just remove this thing from here and call it something like with log.js. Paste it here, export it. So we'll say export default with log. And I'm going to import that in test1 first. So here I'm going to import it here. So similar to test2, it is also going to have a component in test. I'll call it test hello test, and here it is hello test2. So I am importing it, but I want this component to have access to the state. And state has what? How much of value it is. So let's make it a value like, so we can just understand it better. So 9999. What I want is, I want to get access to that state. Can I do it like this? So this component needs access to the state or the logic from here. So I am going to call with log and pass what? The test component. So with log is a function that is going to accept a component. After accepting a component, it is going to return a class component. And the class component, the name can be anything. It doesn't matter if you want to name it anything like test or enhanced component. And I'm just going to return this. It is going to extend React. So obviously I will need what? So I'll say import React from React. I'm going to extend this. It is going to have state. It is going to have this. It is returning the comp from here. So will this test have access to state or not? So now it will have access to props. And I'm just going to say props dot what? It had a prop of what? Can you see? Count, right? So I can just be like count. So this is my test component. Let's see if it is working. So it is saying with log is not defined. So in test component, we are doing with log, but we are not importing it. We'll go back. And what do you see? You see hello, but nothing is here. Let's see hello. Let's say console.log props. So I have with log. I'm getting from here. This is taking the component and okay. So now it is working. Don't you think like here, the first thing you can see is hello 9999. Along with that, I also have hey component you are mounted. Similarly, what if I need the same logic here in test2 component? So again, what will I have to do? I'll just be like, okay, with log. And I'll just import it. And I'll go to the next one. And here, I just need to use, instead of test2, I'll say props dot count. And here, it is going to have access to props. I go back. What do you see here? The logic from here, the logic is coming from with log, but it can be shared between these two components. So for the first time, you can see this log here. The second time, the log is here. How many of you understood and how many of you just bounced off? Like you're not able to like catch up or something. It's a very simple concept. The concept is just create a function that accepts a component and returns a class component from there. And that class component is going to have the logic that you need. That's all. Any question that you're not, any part that you're not able to understand from here? Okay, how many of you understood?
Understood.
Okay, one, two. How many people are there? So we have 4 people. How about the 2 other who like, do you have any question? Then please go ahead and ask. How many of you are thinking like, can you return a class component from a function? Are you anybody who is thinking that? Or anybody who can explain me why can I return a class from a function? What if I ask you, explain it to me? Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Because this class is actually a function.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. So on the right hand side of return can be any kind of value. Class is a function. Because it is a function, you can just write it on the right hand side of return. That's all you are doing. Nothing serious, nothing genius. All good? So similar to this, can we create something like with data, like a higher order component called with data? And wherever we need data, we'll just call it with a component. What do you think? Can we do that?
Yes.
We can, right? So let's just try to see, like, can we pass extra parameter from here or not? So the first parameter is this. And so let's go ahead and create a component here. We'll call it with data.js. It is going to be a function. So it is going to be very similar to with log. So I'm just going to copy this from here, paste it. The logic is coming from where? The logic will come from here. I'm going to copy it and paste it here. So your follower is going to be null. As soon as it is going to mount, you're going to accept another parameter from here, that is URL. Maybe, I don't know if you want to. And the URL will be coming here. So we'll say URL, and we got the URL. You have followers, and here you can just be like data is going to be here instead of follower, because now this whole thing should be much more, I don't know, maybe like standardized. So I can just call it data, right? So I'm going to accept data, update data. Here I'm going to get data, and I'm just going to return the data as this.state.data. All good? Any problem here? All we need to do is to use this inside where we started with followers. So now we need to use it here. So what I'm going to do now is just to convert this component by deleting things from here. So rather than a class, I'm just going to make a function component. It doesn't need to extend anything. It is going to get access to props, and the props is going to have something known as data. So I'm just going to say, if you don't have props.data is null, return spinner. Otherwise, you need to return this thing. And here, let's just delete these things here. So this is what my component needs to be now. So here, followers is going to get access to props. It is going to have data because that is what we are returning from here. And the data, if there is no data, then return spinner. Otherwise, go ahead and return this. Now, here to get the behavior or get the logic, I will just have to call it with data. And here, along with data, we also need to pass what? The URL. Because if you don't pass the URL, like which data will it fetch? So I'm fetching a component, I'm sending a component, along with that, I'm passing this. It will accept it as a URL. It is going to fetch the data. It is going to give me access to this. You come back. Here it is saying followers is not defined. So let's go ahead. Rather than followers, it will have what? Data. Or you can call it props.data. Anything else that is not defined? With data is not defined. So I have not imported with data. And so for that, we will have to export with data. So this one is called with data. Go back, refresh it. You have this one last thing, import it. What do you see? What happened? At least the first one is working, right? Can I do the same thing for the second one? What's the issue, right? So I'll copy this, move it to following, and here rather than having this, I'm just going to export following, and here I'll just change the URL to here. Do I need this? No, I don't need it at all. So I'll just delete this part, call it function. It is going to accept props, and it is going to do the same thing that is inside here. So just delete the whole thing, copy the stuff from here, and paste it here. With data is not defined, we'll import that. You have it here. So now, are you repeating your logic or what's happening here? Here the error they're throwing is you don't have a key. So let's go ahead and put a key. And Onkar, can I just like get an index and put that as a key? Is that a good thing to do?
No.
But the answer is not always no. Okay, here you can do it. Let me tell you why. Okay, because earlier in the list, what you were actually doing is you were interacting and deleting the list at a certain point of time, right? You were clicking on cross and that was deleting the list. Are you going to do it here?
No.
It is never going to change, right? So in this case, you can do it at least. It will be okay. Not a problem. The problem happens when you're actually manipulating the value when it is there. But generally, I think like you should always try to keep it to as unique as possible. So every follower has a property called login. So I'll just rather use that. So I can just, that will be unique because that is the username of all the users. So now Li will have another key and it will be follower. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. All good. No error, nothing. The only thing we have is the our test component that we were working on earlier, that is app. Let's remove this test2. And now all we have is our component or the app, but it has it. We are not repeating ourselves again and again. That's the advantage we have now after using something known as higher order component. So we created a function called with data that is responsible for. So you can think of it to be something like this. Okay, so in future, I can create a function called with superpower, and whichever component needs superpower access, all I have to do is to just like pass it into a function and that will give me an enhance. So you can think about it like this. You pass them a component, it gives you an enhanced component. That is what is happening. If you want to take a closer look at it, you can just go into this and you can see both of these are enhanced component. It has followers and it has following. Things are different, but the point is they are all enhanced component. Any question, please go ahead.
I think something like this we have used it before with router or something to use
Exactly,
history
with
of that.
router does the same thing. So when you use with router is a higher order component that does the same exact thing.
So
whenever you see anything starting with, it's a higher order component. It's a convention that people in the React community use. Yeah, Siddharth, you were saying something. Who was saying Ayush or Siddharth? I don't know.
I'm saying like we are doing it with the logic, but we are also repeating the UI. Can we like solve the UI problem also?
See, the UI problem is the reason I'm not solving it right now. You can like UI problem can be solved using a component. Just create a component. Like so, for example, here. See, the problem was solving UI problem. Don't you think you can solve it? Like rather than having this here, just have a component here.
Yeah.
And that component can be used in both the things. That is not a problem that you have been doing all throughout the time, right? Like using the same card million times. That is the same thing here. Nothing is changing. The problem, you never said logic. That was new. That is new. You always used to say UI using components because that is the simplest thing to do. You can create a component. Just go ahead, create a component that accepts a prop and just displays the login avatar URL and just displays the whole thing here. You want me to do that? Let's do it. You can call it card.js. It is going to be a function. It is going to get access to props, and props is rather than followers, it will be props. And you just export it from here. Okay, now instead of this, you can just return and here, if you want to pass the data, you can pass it in whatever way or form. So I can just pass it like follower. I'll just import the card. Done. So the same thing here for following. So that one is solved. That was not a problem at all, I think. All good?
Yes, sir.
So everybody thumbs up for like understanding the topic of higher order component. Okay, perfect. Now, like this part is taken care of. We understood like this is how we should do it. And the reason I'm telling you this is because here we are using higher order component. And I know at certain point of time, it can look like, oh my God, this is, I don't know, maybe it just feels a bit like it is too much. It can feel like that certain point of time. Okay. But think about it. It is not like that at all. It is not at all like that. It is very simple concept, but the thing is like in future you're going to use hooks and stuff and things will be a lot more simpler. But a lot of places people use this higher order component. A lot of library that you will use, they will use higher order component, and you will have to understand how it works. That is the reason we are talking about this topic. Otherwise, if everybody starts writing hook, we don't even have to talk about all these things. But yeah, this one you need to understand. Go ahead, practice creating this thing. That will be a really, really good thing for you guys to do. Okay. Okay. Now moving on to the next topic. What is the next topic? So should we tick mark the higher order component and move on to the next topic? I think
Yes, sir.
tick marking is the best thing. Like you completed something. So moving on to render props. Let's try to understand. Render props is much more simpler and it's very simple concept. All we need to understand is one thing. So here, say for example, I have a component called, I don't know, maybe let's call it hero.js. And this is a component that is a simple function called hero. And it is just returning is h4 and call it hero component. I'm just going to return hero from here. Sorry, export default hero. So in this case, let's just try to understand one thing. Okay, so how the things work here. So you have a component. I want to use this component somewhere else. Like I can just use it into another component. So I'm just going to define another component. So this is function and it's called superhero. And superhero, it is just going to return something again. Let's call it h6 superhero. Okay. So I have a component. I just want to use it in whatever way or form, and I'm doing that here. So if you want to create another component for this, I'm just going to create another one, superhero.js. And I'm just going to return so now I will be using one of the component here. So let's just use one of the component here in app. So I'll close the other components. Let's just use app here, open app. And I just want to import this superhero component. So superhero is imported. Okay. So like, see, render props is another way of doing the same thing that we were doing with higher order component. That is sharing the non-visual logic. But it is just trying to do it in a bit different way. And what it is trying to use, let's just try to see that. So here I have a superhero component that is coming from here. What if this component has some state and I want to share that with here? So obviously for that, you will have to create a class component, and I'm just going to say class extends react.component. And I'm just going to have render. And I'll just go ahead and import React. Okay, perfect. So I have a component. That component has something. It can have state. And the state has something known as user name. that is maybe I use, and here all I need to do is to call this component. So let us call this component. Okay, so if you call it here, you will see something like superhero. Perfect, no problem, all good. Let us change it to something like H2 so it will be at least visible. So refresh it, you have superhero here. Here, what I need to do now is I'm using this component like this. Can I use it in a different way? Obviously you can. You can just call it superhero like this. It is the same thing, nothing changed. Can you pass anything between these two things? That is where the point of render prop starts coming in play. So whatever you pass, say for example, from here, I want to pass something, and that something is whatever I need to pass. I need to pass something like Devanshu from here. Now I need to use that inside superhero component. How can I use that Devanshu? Can anybody tell me that? Anybody who can tell me how can I use that like this Devanshu here in superhero component? Because this is a component. This one is something that is going somewhere, right? Like, can I use it inside superhero? Okay, so when you write a H1 like this, here, hello world is what of H1?
Inner text.
It's the inner text, or you can also call it children, right? You remember the create element thing that we created in the first section of React? Everything that was here, we used to consider this as an element. Everything else was properties. And here, hello world is a children. That is how we used to think about it, isn't it? So this one is also a children. What if I want to use this? So the way you use it inside a class component, you call it this dot children. So everything that you pass here comes as this dot children. Sorry. So let's console log this. Just to see what we are getting as console log this. So superhero has this. So it has something known as this dot props dot children. Okay. Sorry, I didn't use props. So I'll say this dot props dot children. So every props has a special key called children, and it includes anything that you pass when you're rendering the component, and that is coming between there. So you see, it is Devanshu. Why we did it? Let's try to understand. The reason we did that is because now this component is a lot more useful for us. Can I use it 10 times? And all these 10 times, it will be different information. I can be like, and all these different times, you will see that it is having different information here. Okay, understood? Any problem till now? This is just like using a children component, that's all. The importance of this thing comes in is like, what if you start passing something else here? What if I pass a function from here? What if I say something like this? I am passing a callback function from here. What this callback function does, it accepts something, like it accepts like a number, and it is just going to do something with that number. Whatever it is going to do, I don't know. Let us say console log for now. So I'm just going to accept this number. I'm just going to console log it. So right now, when you take a look at it in your console, refresh the page. Do you see any console here? You don't see any console, right? Do you see any console here? This is the log is happening because in card, we are not adding the key. We are adding the key, okay? So where it is happening, okay, it doesn't matter. So here, what we are passing. So right now, if you take a look at it, what is this dot props dot children? What is the type of it? What is it?
String maybe.
String? What we are passing as a children, can you see?
Function.
We are passing a function as a children, right?
Right.
And that function is this dot props dot children. What if I don't want to return anything. What if I just call this component here? with whatever, I don't know. I can call it with like Sam. This Sam will be passed as a parameter here like num, and I can log it. What do you see here? Can you see Sam? And here you see the UI is gone. Okay, so if the UI is gone, we will have to do something, right? So let's just make it even more simpler. I'm just going to wrap it into a fragment and put it like this and do something like this. Any problem now? It is working, no problem. And I can see the log here. Rather than just sending Sam, can I send something useful? Can I send what is the username of the student? This dot state dot username. And if I can pass that, I can just accept that name, and maybe from here I can return whatever I want to return. Like maybe I want to display it in the form of H1. I can display it in the form of H1 like this. And I can call it num, or you can, num is not a good name. So let's call it something like response or whatever. You see, I use from here. Coming from where? It is coming. So what I'm doing is I'm able to share this state from here to this component. That is all I'm doing. And what they can do is they can use that state and display it in whatever way or form. It doesn't matter. So using render props, what happens is I will give you the data, I will give you the information, and you take care of it in whatever way or form you want to. Means the UI and everything will be taken care of by you. All I'm going to do is to give you the data. Whatever you need, I'm going to give you that. Not only that, you can put the whole logic here. Say, for example, what if I want to create the same story that we were doing earlier using this? So you can do that, like not a problem. You can just use in this way. So now what if I want to create this followers and following, but using render props? Is it possible? That is my next question, okay? Is it possible to use render props to do this stuff like that I was doing earlier? So I'll just try to recreate. I don't know if it is like, it will be possible no matter what, like, but I'm just trying to recreate this thing here. So I'm taking this component from here, and rather than having a superhero component, we are going to have this thing here, and you can call it superhero. And what it does is data is going to be null. As soon as component is going to mount, it is going to accept URL. But URL is coming from where? So I can just pass it from props. So I can just be like this dot props dot URL. And this URL is coming as props here. And I'm just going to update the data, and later on, what I need to return from here. So I don't need to return anything from here. All I need to do is here, I just need to call this dot props dot component with what value I need to send it. So this dot state dot data. Now, how do I need to use it? So I need to use it inside following and followers. So first thing, I'm just going to remove this URL from here. It is just going to be followers component. And here, what I need to do, I need to call this component here. Which one is like superhero? It is called. So let's just call it here. I'm just going to call superhero. That is coming from here. Superhero is component that accepts a URL prop. So I'm sending it like this. So this is the URL. And here, what I need to do is I need to accept it and display this URL here. So I'm just going to delete this thing here, and I'm going to accept that data that it is going to send me, and that will come as a function. So here I will accept it as a data, and from there, where I need to return, I can return it. So I can just be like return. So getting data, I'm returning this UI, sorry, H3. Okay, so I need to have a top element. Now here, rather than props, it will just be data, and I'm going to get access to this, display it. Let's see if it is working on it. It's saying React is not defined. Where? In superhero, where I'm using React. In superhero, React is not defined. So okay, I'm saying react.com. Sorry. So now it is throwing another error going this dot props dot component. Okay. This dot
This
props
is the
dot
of the
component children.
children.
I'm like props that component. What is that? So the first one is still loading. Let's see what is happening here. Let's see if it is working or not. I've never tried doing something like this, but let's see. We'll say console.log data. I don't know if it will re-render or not.
Try to remove loader. Spinner.
Yeah, just a second. Okay, sorry. It should be here, the loader. Okay, in the props, I can see this information, but why it is not re-rendering? Okay, it is not re-rendering this thing. Okay, it doesn't re-render. So I think like you cannot work it like this. I thought like maybe if I can use render props to do the same stuff. But generally, like you understood the concept of render props, right? Render props is a concept where they will give you access to data and you are in charge of creating the UI based on whatever way or form you want to. So that is what render props is. Maybe this is not the use case of render props, or I'll just take a look if there is anything like why it is not re-rendering or something. But like this is what render props is. Render props, the concept is very simple. You just need to send the data as a prop in terms of as a children, like whenever you're calling it, and here you accept it and you can use it in whatever way or form. So you accept that and use it. So you will also be using render props at a lot of different places. Similar to with router, you will see render props pattern different places. So I'll give you an example, render props. If you just go to the documentation that they have, here it is the same story. It's not like, okay, so this is like a constructor method and everything. And here all they have to do is like, you just have to pass a callback function or a function as a children, and they will accept that children and use that. So let's see where they're doing it. So this is where you using props other than render. So you don't render the thing right there. You just use props to do the same stuff. So generally, like you pass children as a prop, or you can pass it like this. It doesn't matter. Both the things are same. And that is why it is called render props. So you render the UI using the prop that you send it like this. So what happens is like it will get access to mouse, and based on it, it is just going to create the UI like this. That is why it is called render props. So render props is just a way of like doing this thing, like sharing non-visual logic. This is another way of doing that. And this is not something that is very prominent right now, but higher order function is something that you need to understand. Render props is just an add-on. If you want to understand, this is what it is. Other than that, like you will not be using it almost like every other day or something. But higher order function is very prominent, and you will be using it with a lot of external libraries, functions, and everything. So this is what render prop and higher order component is. Mostly they are both used for sharing non-visual logics. That is what it is. If you have any doubt regarding render props or higher order function components, you can ask me now, or we'll move on to the last one called context API.
Sir, I have a question. Like, does it solve a problem of sending data from child to parent? Like,
That, no, that will never happen. Like, that is not the way of doing it.
okay,
But like context API will solve your problem.
okay, sir.
Yeah. So generally, like render props, you will be using it in a terms like, say, every time you need to understand the theme of the website, whether it is dark or light or something. In that case, also you can use render props. So render props will give you access to either it is dark or it is light, and based on that, you're going to recreate the UI. Yeah. So that is what it is. But generally, like context API is also very similar. So generally, like what is the problem that context API solves? So generally, when you're working on a component, it is something of this sort. So you have a component inside component, inside component, inside component, something like this. You have some data here. And just to make it better, let's call it like this. So these are two components. You need to save this data. So you are like, okay, go ahead, pass it as a prop, pass it as a prop. From here, pass it as a prop, pass it as a prop. So this is how you pass data from one to another. Some of the time it becomes very complicated that you have your data is on the top, but the component here needs your data. So then you have to keep going down. So this is called prop drilling. So you're like keep prop, keep sending one from one to another and everything. And this is what creates a lot of problem. So you're like, even though this component has nothing to do with data, but just because this component needs it, you have to send it through this component. And this is one of the problem that context API solves. Okay, so generally what they do is, rather than you passing data like this using a pattern, that is data is only passed through parent to children, what they actually do is they will put this data somewhere here. And then whoever needs to change this data is known as context provider. So you provide data to this thing. And whoever needs to use it is known as context consumer. And that person will be able to use the data from there. Okay. So this is what context is. Like, this is the reason why we use context. So like whenever you need to use different kind of data at different components, you can use context to do the same stuff. So I'll just give an example of that. So for that, like I'll create two component, a.js, and I'll have another component called b.js. So these two components can be called at different places. Okay, so here A is called here, B is called here, but I'm actually rendering B. I'll just remove this thing from here. And let's just delete this for now. Okay. And here I'm just going to render what, like a component. So let's call it a simple component like function. So this is your A component. Similarly, you can have B component here. Now you can use these two components at different places. Say, for example, I can use it inside following. So if you just go inside the following component, I can use it here. So I'm using A here, and I can use B inside followers component here. So in this way, what happens is like your component is displaying from different places. So here you have A. Refresh it, you have A and B component coming from different places. Like sometimes you need to share some common data to all of these components. Like say you need it in A, you need it in B, you need it in following, you need it in app. How do you fix that problem there? So that is when you create context. So generally you create a context wherever you want to do. So I'm just going to create a folder called context, and context is going to have something known as user context. So this is a very simple one. User context means a context that is going to carry information of the user. So how do you create a context? It is very simple. So you just call it something like user context, and you create it using react.create context. So you just use a function called create context that comes from React, and you create it like this. That's all. That's what a context is. And if you want to use it at different places, you can just call it like this, export it and use it. I'm not going to do anything else. Now, this is, you can think of context to be just like a variable. If you want to see what a context is just like you can think of it as an object. That's all it is. It's a context that has a value. That's all. If you want to take a look at it, you can just take a look at it by importing user context. So I'll just say user context, and I'll see what is user context. So let's see. So I'll say let, or just say console log. And I'm just giving a message saying context. And we'll come back here, look at the console. In the context, you see an object. That's all you see. So context, when you say create context, it creates an object that has two other components. Can you see this here? What are these two components? One is provider, one is consumer. So you can think of creating a box like this somewhere in this, like outside of the whole structure. But here, right now, when you start, you don't have any data. You just created a box. You need to put some data so you can use it. So how do you put the data? So you put the data using provider. Okay. So I'll just say you already have context is here. So I need to provide some data to it. So how do you provide it? So you just provide it like a normal component. You call it user context dot provider, because we have seen that in console, there is something known as user context is an object. It has a property called provider. So let's just paste it like this. So I closed it, and we have a component like this. That's all. And now inside this, I need to pass extra properties. That is the value that you want to pass. So I want to pass a property called anything. It doesn't matter. You want to pass like what? So generally, like when you're working on an app like Conduit or anything, you need to pass user information. That is something that you're going to use it in different places. So you are passing an object that has a property. So I can just going to pass an object, or you can just pass one value, doesn't matter. I'm just going to pass an object that has something like this information. So it will be like username is going to be Siddharth. It's going to be name is going to be maybe Sid, or it will also have some kind of token. So token is going to be something like this. Okay, so these are the information that you're sending to the provider. So using this, what you have done is you have added these three information inside this provider component. Now, all you need to do now is to use that component, use that data. Now, the thing is like when you need to use this inside A, how will you be able to use it? So this information can come from anywhere. Say, for example, what if it comes from state? So I can create it, convert it into a class component and say, react.component render, move it inside And here I'll just have something like state, and side state, you're going to have an object like this. Because generally, like when you're working on these things, you have things like this, right? That is like sometimes you have things like this. So how do you send it? So you're like, okay, value is equal to this dot state. So I can just pass the whole thing inside the provider. So now the value is there. So if you want to take a look at it, React is not defined. So let's import it. Refresh it now. You have your things. If you go into your components here, you will see that your provider has some kind of value. Can you see that? Now, say for example, I want to use it inside B component. So where is B component? So first you have to take this data, pass it through followers. It will go inside the followers, and inside the followers, you need to send that data to B, and B is going to use that data to display the username. Say for example, here I need to display the username. So rather than calling B, I need to display the username, whatever is the username. So how can I do that? So you either have to pass it through one component from another component, from this component to this component, and it will keep going on. The other way is to just use context. Because we're using that in context, what we can do now is like, because it is a functional component, so I'll share an article with you. That is a really good one to understand context. Okay, so it's very simple. Like here, what we have done till now, we have created a context and we have exported it. We have provided the data to this one, and later on we need to use it. So whenever you're consuming the context, there are two ways. Whenever it is a class component, you need to do it in certain ways. Whenever it is a functional component, you have to do it in certain way. So let's talk about the functional way of doing it. So inside function, you can just do it like this. So you just have to use a special thing called use context. So you import something like use context here. So I'll import something like use context from React, and which context you want to use. This is user context. So I'll import that from there. This is user. This user will have that information that we put in using provider. So this provider is going to have a value of username. So let's call it like user.username. Now, when you go back to your UI, what you will see is Siddharth. You don't have to pass from one to another prop, another to another prop, another to another prop. You can directly, like, I don't know, take a flight from here and directly jump here. I don't have to keep passing it. So I can directly, using consumer, use it directly here. So you provide it and you consume it. So this is how you consume into a class component. What if I want to use it inside a, so this is how you use it inside a function component. What if you want to use it in the class component? So that also you can do, like you can just have to use it like this. So here there is something known as, you add a special property called static, and you say static context type is equal to the name of the context. So if you want me to do that, I can just convert one of the component here into a class component. So let's do that. So we'll say class. Let us create another component, class component. So we'll call it c.js. You have class c extends component render, and you just need to import React. And here I need to use that URL. So I just need to export it, export default C, and I need to use it. So I can just be like in followers. After B, I can also import C, import it. And now here, if I need to use it, all I need to do is to say static context type is a special static property. And you just name it like whatever is the context name. So user context is the name. And now if you want to use it, you can directly access it like this dot context dot username, and it will be visible there. So it is saying render method should return something. Okay, sorry. So say return. So you can see Siddharth here, you can see Siddharth here coming from different components. If you want to take a look at it, you can see that these two components are visible here. C is having access to this dot. Can you see? So it is called this dot context. Inside that, it is all the value like name, token, and username. I'm using username, so I can use it like this. So this is one way, like you can just use it context type to do that. There is another way, and that way of doing stuff is render props way of doing stuff. So you do it like this also. So if you want to consume it here, another way to do that is to do it like this. So I want to use the context. So you can do it like user context dot consumer. So it has a component called dot consumer. And what you can do is here, you can access those information. So you will be like, you remember the thing that we were talking about, like how in render props, you pass it as a children, and here you get access to the thing. So can you see here, I'm getting access to the props and I'm returning whatever I need to return. So I'll get access to the props, or you can call it context, whatever. So I'll just call it props. And from here, I need to return this. And these props will have this information. So I can just be like props dot username. And now if you just go back to this part, you will see it is working in the same way as it was working. So that multiple ways to use a context. The way you use it inside a class component is using static context type, or you use it using consumer. Consumer is coming from user context dot consumer. Okay, so this is the other thing. Coming as a component inside a function, you can use it directly using the thing called use context. And use context, you just need to pass the context and it will have the value of it. So this is what context is. Generally, you use context whenever you need to do something like dark mode or any state that you have to manage between different blogs or something. So if you remember how many of you worked on the blog app? So you see that like the user information, you're using it into different components. So you can put that information into a context and use it in different places. So this is what a context is, and this is the problem that it solves. If you have any queries, something like, please feel free to ask. So all of you understood this context thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so like Onkar, was this session helpful for you? Like understood like the thing that you have facing problem with?
Yeah, I was facing problem with render API. But it got
Okay.
clear. Can you just repeat the user context part? How to add data into user context?
How
I
to
got
add
how
data
to-
into user context? This one you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
You just have to do is like user context has a special component called provider. So you just say user context dot provider and pass it inside value. And say, for example, you're just saying this dot state. So whenever your state will change, the context will update the data by itself. You don't have to do anything. And whenever the state change it will re-render the whole children API.
Okay. So
All the children, it will be re-rendered.
So if I create new component name anything outside that user context dot provider component, then I
Yeah.
can't use this data inside that no? Outside the user context dot provider.
No, you cannot use it. Like you'll have to use it like it has to be the children of app component. That is what it needs to be. It has to be the children. Another thing that a lot of people face problem with, like you can also do is like you can pass the functions like this. So you can create a function called update state. It accepts new information, like maybe say I'm passing username here. And what I need to do is update the state here. So I'll be like this dot set state. what we need to do? We need to update the username, right? So I'm updating it like this. What if I just pass this here in the object? I can. So you can just be like, rather than passing it like this, you can pass it more like this. So you're saying like this dot state is the value. Rather than that, I'm going to pass an object as a value. And now you can call it like this. So the data is going to be this dot state, and it also going to have a property called update state. So now in future, whenever you want to update state, you can do that. So for example, I'll do it inside C, or maybe let's do it inside B first. So here I'm saying user dot username. You cannot do it now. Like you have to say what? User dot data dot username, because data you are providing it like this. Similarly in C, you will have to do props dot data dot username. Now you go back to UI. Update state is not defined. It should be this dot update state. So you passed it and everything is okay. Siddharth, you're able to access it. Now, what if I want is like, as soon as I click on this, I want the state to change to something like Onkar. What if I want that? So in that way, what will happen is like, I need to get access to that inside C component. So props dot update is there, right? Like, so I can, what I can do, I can just say on click, I can update the state. So I can be like, as soon as click happens, you have to call this function, and this function is coming from props dot update state, and call it with a name of Onkar. Okay, so now you just save it, like which component C it is. You click on it. Can you see you change the data here, but it changed everywhere? Can you see that?
Yes.
If you want to see now, like say here it is C component, this is B component. As soon as I update it state here, this also got changed. So you can pass whatever you want to pass as data inside the context, whatever you want to pass. I am passing a way to update the state. I am passing the state. So whatever you need it like different places, pass it like this. All good?
Yes.
And one disclaimer is never name your component to be A, B, C, D just because I did it here. Please never do that. I just did it because I should not have done it. That's totally wrong. But I'm just saying, never name your component A, B, C, D, even when you're practicing. Don't do that. Okay, any question, guys, or everybody's thumbs up? Like everybody understood like what's going on here? No, you can say it also. You don't have to just like thumbs up there. I'm just saying like understood everybody?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So no questions, right? So I'm just going to end the class now. So, but before that, if you have any question, you can go ahead. But if it is not, I'll just end it.
Tomorrow, what is the point for tomorrow's session?